remember the night my walls finally broke. I was sitting alone in my darkened bedroom, staring at an empty bottle on the floor, my hands shaking as if they no longer belonged to me. My chest felt heavy, and for the first time in years, I admitted the truth to myself. I was not living. I was dying from the inside out. I had spent years covering my pain with secret sins, smiling at church on Sundays while drowning in shame every other day of the week. My prayers had grown cold, and my faith was just a hollow shell. I told myself God was too far away to care, but nothing prepared me for the night my soul slipped out of my body and I saw demons dragging souls into fire. Before I continue with my story, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here with me today. To all my subscribers, thank you so much for supporting this channel. You are the reason I keep pressing forward. To everyone who is new or has not yet subscribed, I cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button. Your support is the fuel and energy that powers this channel and helps stories like mine reach more people who need hope. And please, do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments, because your words matter more than you know. My name is Juanita, and I am from a small town in West Virginia. I was born and raised in the church, but my faith was never truly my own. For years, I went through the motions, singing in the choir, attending Bible studies, lifting my hands in worship. To everyone else, I looked like the perfect Christian woman, but deep inside, I was broken. It all unraveled for me in 2018. I was 32 years old, and I was tired of pretending. The truth was, I carried bitterness from my childhood that I never dealt with. My father left when I was 9, and that rejection carved a wound so deep that nothing seemed to heal it. I smiled in public, but at night I drowned my loneliness with alcohol and casual relationships that only left me emptier. I told myself that God could never love someone like me, not with the secret sins I was hiding. I believed in him, but I did not trust him. I sung songs about grace, but I thought his mercy was for everyone else, never for me. Each night I lay in bed, my mind racing, whispering the same desperate prayer. God, if you are real, why do I feel so far from you? Silence was my only answer. That silence pushed me deeper into despair. I became numb to my own life, moving through the days like a shadow. Depression wrapped around me like chains. I was a lukewarm Christian on the outside, but on the inside, I was crumbling. And then one night, my body could not take it anymore. My heart began to race, my vision blurred, and I collapsed in the cold floor. I thought it was just exhaustion. I did not know it was the beginning of a journey that would open my eyes to hell itself. When my body collapsed on that cold floor, I thought it would be just another blackout. But this time, something was different. I felt myself leaving, as though invisible hands were pulling my soul out of my body. Suddenly the room faded, and I was plunged into a darkness so heavy it pressed against my skin like a weight. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The air was thick, suffocating, and it smelled of burning sulfur mixed with something far worse, the stench of rotting flesh. Then I heard it. The screams, endless screams that pierced through the darkness, coming from every direction, yet none of them sounded human anymore. They were twisted cries of agony, filled with a hopelessness that sent terror ripping through me. As my eyes adjusted, I saw fire in the distance, flames leaping like hungry beasts, but the fire did not bring light. Instead, it made the shadows darker. Out of that darkness, shapes began to appear. Grotesque figures with twisted faces, long claws and eyes that glowed like burning coals. Demons. I had heard about them my whole life in church, but nothing could have prepared me for the sight of them in front of me. They were dragging souls, men, women, even young people, pulling them by chains, claws, and ropes that seemed to be made of shadows. The soul screamed, begging for mercy, but the demons laughed, their voices like growls mixed with screeches. The sound made my bones shake. I wanted to run, but my legs felt frozen. All I could do was watch. That was when I saw a familiar face. A woman I knew from my hometown. Someone I used to see every Sunday, sitting 2 pews ahead of me in church. Her face was twisted in horror as she cried out for help, but no one came. My stomach dropped. I realized this place was not just for strangers. These were real people. People I once knew. People who never truly surrendered to God. The demons turned their eyes toward me. Their stare pierced through me, exposing every sin I thought was hidden. I could feel them sensing my fear, my guilt, my shame. One of them started moving closer, dragging chains behind it that rattled against the ground. The closer it came, the heavier the air grew, pressing on my chest until I thought I would suffocate. I tried to shout, "God, help me!" but the words barely left my mouth. My voice was swallowed by the cries around me. The demon reached out, its claws only inches away from me. That was when I felt it, a presence behind me. It was not like the oppressive weight of the darkness. This was different, stronger. It was peace cutting through the chaos. And then I heard a voice that shook the pit of that hellish place. It said, "Juanita, your time has not yet come." The demons shrieked in fury, their claws retreating as if something more powerful held them back. Light, brighter than anything I had ever seen, began to pour into that pit. It was not just light, it was a living presence. My knees buckled under the weight of it, and all I could do was weep. But before the light pulled me out completely, I heard the voice again, clearer this time. It said, "Go back and tell them what you have seen. Warn them. Tell them I am real and hell is real." And then in a flash, the screams, the fire, the chains, all of it disappeared. When my eyes opened again, I was lying on the same cold floor where I had collapsed. My body was drenched in sweat, and my heart was pounding as if it would break my ribs. The room was silent, but inside me, there was a war between terror and awe. I knew what I had seen was not a dream. I had been there. I had felt the heat of the flames, smelled the sulfur, and heard the screams of those who were lost forever. For the first time in years, I wept like a child, not out of anger, but out of gratitude. God had every right to leave me there, chained in that place with the demons, but he did not. He reached into the darkness and pulled me out. That night, I fell to my knees and begged him for mercy, not a shallow prayer, not the empty words I had repeated so many times before, but a cry from the deepest part of my soul. "God," I whispered through tears, "I do not want to live for myself anymore. Take all of me. I cannot go back to who I was." From that moment on, my life was never the same. The alcohol that once numbed my pain lost its hold on me. The relationships that had left me empty no longer appealed to me. It was as if the chains I had carried for years had finally broken. I began to see sin for what it really was, not a harmless escape, but a trap designed to destroy me and drag me toward the very pit I had seen. I started spending time in the Word of God, not out of obligation, but out of hunger. Every verse became a lifeline. Prayer was no longer a ritual, but my breath. I reached out to my family, mending relationships I had once ignored. Slowly, the depression that had weighed me down began to lift, replaced by a fire to live with purpose. But the greatest change was in how I saw other people. Before, I judged them or envied them. Now, when I looked at someone, all I could think was, do they know Jesus? Do they realize what eternity holds? I could not shake the memory of the souls I saw being dragged away. That memory became the fuel for my mission, to tell anyone who would listen that hell is real, but so is God's mercy. There are nights when I still wake up hearing the echoes of those screams. On those nights, I fall on my knees and pray, Lord, help me never forget. Help me warn them. I live with the conviction now that I never had before. Eternity is too real to take lightly. To you who are watching this, I need you to hear me clearly. Hell is not a story to scare children, and heaven is not just a fairy tale to comfort the weak. I saw with my own eyes demons dragging souls into fire. I heard the hopeless cries of people who thought they had more time. But I also experienced the mercy of a God who was willing to give me another chance. If there is anything I can leave you with, it is this. Hell is too real to ignore, and heaven is too close to miss. So I ask you, are you ready for eternity if death came tonight? Do you know without a doubt where your soul would go? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me how my story speaks to you. I want to read your testimonies, your questions, even your struggles. Do not forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps this message reach others who are searching for hope, and together we can shine light. Because I will never forget what I saw, and I pray you never do either.